Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back once again, and for the very first time, to the Thoughts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host, Danjo, here with part 26 of Stick Tips, the show where I talk about controllers and all kinds of stuff. And, yeah, today is just a quick one, kind of a combo video. I don't usually do these kind of ones, but, surprisingly, today we got two updates I wanted to talk about. First of which being the 8BitDo SN30 Pro Plus got a firmware update. It's been quite a while since this has been updated, and it's been also kind of made obsolete by the 8BitDo Pro 2. But there's still quite a few of these out in the wild, and I think I know why they updated it, but they're on firmware version 6.01 now, and the update log indicates that the button combo to activate, deactivate, you know what, we actually have a better shot than this, but this is the update log. I'll go over the notes here in a second. But in case you guys are wondering, in order to download the firmware update or download the firmware updater software, just go to the link on screen here, support.8bitdo.com, and that's where you'll kind of see their updates, links for various downloads and stuff like that. So in case you guys are new to 8BitDo products, yeah, most of the time you can get all your updates here. And yeah, so a few notes about this. Basically, once you launch the firmware updater, which has been fixed and is a bit easier to do firmware updates with on most of their controllers now, the software still doesn't support a few of them, but most of them can be updated with the software. So yeah, same exact notes from the update log. The button combo to activate/deactivate the profile has changed to L3 and R3 and L1 and R1. So unlike the Pro 2 and some of their other more modern controllers, you can only activate one custom profile at a time on this device. And I believe it's platform specific. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Because once you launch the Ultimate software, it'll ask you what kind of platform you're making a custom profile for. So it'll say like Switch, Windows, or Android. So they optimize the dead zone range of the analog sticks in X input mode only, I guess. As I've mentioned before in previous Stick Tips episodes, X input has kind of had a long buggy history with 8BitDo controllers, so the fact that more recently they've been addressing that, that's kind of cool. Optimize the vibration of the switch mode. I didn't really know that was a problem. Fixed the abnormal vibration issue in switch mode as well. Fixed the abnormal vibration issue when connecting to the PS Retro receiver. Now, this is a product they launched a while ago, and personally I haven't got my hands on one yet because I haven't really had the need for it lately because I haven't been playing my PS2 that much. But I have a feeling that was kind of the main reason why they updated it. Considering this is one of the logical options for a main controller that kind of has that PS2 feel, but is not a PS2 controller. Because the PS Retro receiver is literally for PS2 and PS1 hardware. So I have a feeling that was kind of the main reason there. And in case you guys are wondering, yeah, I'm not really concerned with its functionality on Switch because this controller has never really had any issues on Switch. So instead, I'm going to use it with how I have been using this controller lately as kind of a backup for my PS5 controller, which may sound weird, but in case you guys have seen the last couple episodes of Stick Tips, the Brook, same company, these guys, the Brook Wingman XE2 has had problems for a while in the PS4 mode, and like any PS4 games on PS5, you'd be able to use this adapter on, but this controller adapter does not have a USB wired mode, because initially it was kind of emphasizing that you could use the Wii and the Wii U controllers, which had that I don't know the actual name for it, but most people just call it the Wii Classic Controller plug. It was the port on the bottom of the Wiimotes that we'd plug the nunchuck into, or the Classic Controller when playing virtual console games on the Wii or the Wii U. So this one does not have a female USB-A. So for any wired controller, it has to use that Classic Controller port, basically. But that's fine because the SN30 Pro Plus is a Bluetooth controller, and it has a switch mode. And this adapter works with most wireless Switch controllers. So that's what I've been using it for, in case the Wingman XE2 disconnects randomly. I also have this one connected, and then just kind of turn on the SN30 Pro Plus and then connect it and then switch controllers. Bada boom, works perfectly. However, because this is a firmware update and it hasn't been updated for quite some time, this adapter hasn't been updated since 2021. It's hopefully still working, and we'll get to the gameplay testing here in a bit. And what I'm going to be testing it on is Armored Core 6, which just got patch version 1.04. Now, this came to be a bit of a surprise, and it's a numbered entry, you know? Not like 1.03.1. So you would think some things are kind of different. It's a stable release, I guess you could call it. And basically what they're doing with this one is it's mostly bug fixes. It's not actually balancing anything on this one, so they're not changing the stats of various AC parts or anything. But I'm going to go through the patch notes anyway, because there's not that many of them, and you guys may be curious. And that may be why you clicked on this video. So, major items included with the latest regulation update. Improvements and bug fixes. Fixed a bug that was preventing AC data from being loaded when it was using a decal whose image had been deleted from the game server. I hadn't ran into that issue, but apparently it was an issue. Note, now when loading such AC data, the corresponding decal will be removed. Seems like a good way to take care of that. Fixed a bug with the flamethrower, Bad Cook, only flamethrower in the game. When equipped to the right hand, where firing the weapon while hovering with tetrapod legs temporarily disabled effects and hitboxes. Hadn't ran into that issue, didn't know it was an issue. Fixed a bug with Coral Oscillator IB CO3W2WLT101. Wow, that's a name. Where charged attacks had less range when certain parts were equipped. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that is one of the generators, which... Oh good. Controller reconnected just fine. I did mention in the last episode of Stick Tips about the Wingman XE2 update that certain controllers when, and again, I'm not using the XE2 for this, where certain controllers, when they, if they were Bluetooth, when they would time out and shut themselves off, like most 8-bit Bluetooth controllers do, once you turn the controller back on with a press of the start button, it wouldn't reconnect to the adapter. You would have to resync it, which I thought was really strange because with previous Brook adapters, like the one I mentioned earlier and am using right now, it reconnects just fine. Like, it had timed out, turned itself off, just hit start, reconnected, no problem. Now controlling the stuff, so I hadn't tested that yet. That was good. It's good to know. The Coral Oscillator, is that... I thought it was a generator? Is it not a generator? NGI... Those aren't, that's not the only two though, right? No, I have all the generators. Coral Oscillator, is that the... Do I already have it? It might be the right or left arm unit. I don't think it is, though. It's not the Coral missiles. WLT... WLT? What was the name of that again? No, WLT 101 IB CO3W2. That's not... It's not the Coral missiles, is it? WLT 011. That's the next one. It says Coral Rifle. That's like the part type. It's not the Redshift. That's IA CO1. No, that's way different. WLT 101. Is that not the Aorta NG? No, it's not a generator. Is this a weapon that I don't have? Coral Oscillator. Oh, it's the melee weapon. Okay. It just has a very similar... It's kinda... yeah. Has a very similar name, even though it's not a very similar part. Yeah, I think that's what it is. WLT Coral Oscillator IB CO3W2 WLT 101. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. I nearly forgot about this thing. Yeah, so it's the left-hand melee weapon. Coral Oscillator. Like, why did they use the same... Like, okay, I get it. Coral Oscillator is like the melee thing. So like the red shift is a choral oscillator, the other one is also a choral oscillator. Okay, okay. So what did they fix about it? What did they fix about it? Yeah, so it's like the wave one. Where charge attacks had less range when certain parts were equipped. Okay. Fixed a bug with the coral rifle, right? That's what I kind of thought they meant. Where fully charged attacks, that's like the Kamehameha kind of like wave thing. Where fully charged attacks would cancel if the attack button was held continuously. Okay. Didn't know that was a thing. Fixed a bug. Oh, wait, no, we already read that one. Mitigate issues where the frame rate changes would affect the player AC's firing accuracy and the rapid fire performance of some weapons. Didn't know about that one. But I've been playing the PS4 version on PS5, which has a pretty much stable 60 FPS, so... Fixed a bug where using a weapon immediately after switching to it with the weapon bay caused attack animations and weapon animations to play incorrectly. We're using weapon... Oh, actually I did run into that. I totally ran into that. I thought it was just like missed inputs when like swapping weapons and then trying to like follow up with certain things. So for example, one that I noticed was with the redshift or the moonlight, if you were like doing I think it was the nebulas I was using at the time, or the scutters, like firing off a bunch of them and then switching real quick and then charging like the moonlight wave, and then it wouldn't like accept the input real quick. Or with the chainsaw, because I would do that, I think for the ice worm, use the double nebulas and then hit it with the charge attacks and then switch to the chainsaw, charge that, and then, you know, let loose with it. So the fact that I have noticed some weirdness with that in the past, so the fact that that was fixed is really cool. Fixed a bug. Where were we? Oh, with online matches where an opponent AC would not render if decals were applied. Right, yeah, the decal thing. Fixed a bug in the mission Escape where some events failed to trigger under certain circumstances. I did not run into that, I don't think. Which one is Escape? That's one where you have to pilot the crappy old AC, right? After... Yeah, where you have to go through the tunnels. It's kind of like an early Armored Core, like, what would you even say about that? It's kind of a... They were kind of making fun of themselves a little bit. It's kind of a reference to, like, the first Armored Core game where most levels were, like, tunnels and stuff like that, and the AC designs were all blocky and not very, responsive or anything. It was a nice little tongue-in-cheek thing to the fans. Fixed a bug in the mission Ocean Crossing where the player could get soft locked under certain conditions. I had never ran into that, thankfully, but made corrections to the replay. Okay, this is the big one. Made corrections to the replay mission tutorial text, which did not sufficiently explain the actual conditions for achieving an S rank rating. The text now reads as follows. To achieve an S rank rating, you must complete the mission without retrying from a checkpoint, while also destroying a large number of enemy units and minimizing incoming damage, time taken, and ammunition consumed. Fixed a bug where the game would... Oh, and then they're off to a different thing. Now this is really interesting. and I'll get back to this in a minute because we only got a few more notes to go. Fixed a bug where the game would fail to load after selecting continue from the title screen under certain conditions. I've never ran into that, but okay. Fixed a bug where the game would crash after changing parts in the assembly menu during a C-test. Never ran into that either. Other bug fixes and performance improvements, so that's good. And then Steam specific, change the title screen behavior so control guide device settings do not change according to the device used to press any button. Didn't know about it either, but I don't play this on Steam, so the version of this update, blah blah blah, regulation, yeah. Gotcha. So that's all the notes. So the interesting thing about the S rank thing, right, is it doesn't actually say that text anywhere now. Of course, like, I've already done all the S ranks, but, and you know, those videos are still going to be coming out regularly, but there's like your control guide, right, and then contextual guide, but that's just for like the AC details. And so like it's nowhere there. It's not under training because those are like the training missions. It's not under AC design. It's not in the system. It's not in the license menu. These archives are just like the in-game things that you pick up. You'd think it'd be in tips somewhere because these are the actual like kind of tutorial messages that they play in games sometimes. But it's actually not here anywhere. These are like from the tutorials. Right. The arms, back units, heads, cores, nice boosters, FCS, generators. Yeah, so it's nowhere in here either. So it's kind of a weird thing because some of the tutorial messages are only shown the first time you go into a menu, and there's no way to pull it back up, which... Oh, there is an assembly. Huh. So it seems like... Let's see, in Paint, yeah, you can pull it back up in Paint too. Okay. Display tutorial, yeah. So for most of these, you can pull up the tutorial in that way. But under sortie, replay missions, it's just confirm and back. There's no, even if you do the input for help, it doesn't pull it up. So you can toggle the display, confirm and back, help. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about display tutorial. Yeah, so that particular text apparently does not appear in-game. Or maybe because I applied the patch after basically completing the game, now there's no way to do it. But yeah, it was a criticism I heard from a lot of other fans of Armored Core, where they were just like, yeah, they don't really tell you what is required to S rank. Like, there's the obvious, you know, objectives for each mission, but there's not. Yeah. For replaying missions, there's no way to pull up the actual tutorial about S ranking, which kinda is a long-running Armored Core tradition that is not great, where S ranking has different conditions based on the mission that you're playing, and sometimes they're incredibly finicky. Like, the main one that a lot of people were having trouble with, which was Attack the Refueling Base, where you actually have to take out one of the PCA craft in order to get the S rank, even though that's not required, and it tells you, yeah, to do like the fuel storage tanks, that's not required either. Just gets you extra credits. And yeah, that's, I get it, if they want to keep it convoluted, that's fine, but at least be able to display the tutorial like you can in the other menus, where it just tells you, is like, hey, S ranking basically, and that's like, you know, a fine way to put it, how they put it. You know, don't do a retry, like from checkpoints. You know, try to not take that much damage, you do it quickly, and don't use that much ammo. Like, it makes total sense. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video though, guys. So thank you so very much for stopping in. Hope you guys enjoyed, and actually before we get going, let me, because I've just been navigating menus and like the controller's fine. I've been using the ABXY and the D-pad pretty much. So let's actually at least go into an AC test where I try the other inputs and see how it actually performs in game, rather than, you know, just navigating menus, because then it wouldn't be a thorough test. Enemy settings, let me just grab a tetrapod, turn off the AI. Actually, it doesn't matter if I turn off the AI, screw that. Alright. Okay. So far everything feels good. It does seem maybe a tiny bit snappier, actually. Not the controller, just like the game. Or maybe it's just because I haven't played it in a while. Whoops. It was a mighty whiff.
AP at 50%.
Yeah, feels good. Kind of curious if there's any.
AP at 30%.
Oh, yeah.
2 repair kits
Easily
remaining.
switch and fire there. I'm kinda miffed that they nerfed the nebulas a little while ago. In, I think that was in patch 1.03. But, yeah, it feels a little bit weird playing this with this, just because, like, this game does utilize the L3 and R3, which I usually have assigned to the back paddles, but this controller doesn't have back paddles, so
AP at 50%.
it's a little bit strange.
Left-hand ammunition at 50%. Right-hand ammunition at 50%.
But yes, for the most part, it feels good. Like, not really having an issue with like dead zones, but I'm not in X input mode. I'm in switch mode, so I mean, it feels responsive though. It doesn't feel like there's any missed inputs or anything.
AP at 30%. Left-hand ammunition at 30%.
And like, it's pretty impressive, honestly, even like considering this is like an older version of Brooks
Ammunition at 30%.
wireless technology that they've been using for their adapters for a bit. Because the newer ones have lower latency, but it's a very, very small amount of latency. Like, it's not even... It doesn't even really feel like Bluetooth. Like, the Pro 2 has better Bluetooth than this one does, but... like... So yeah, it's older on the controller side, and it's older on the adapter side, but... even so, it still feels good. Like... even if this was like my primary controller, I could deal with this.
Left-hand ammunition at 10%.
Again, not having back pedals does...
Right-hand ammunition at 10%.
yeah, it is not great, but it's mainly, yeah, because of the L3 and R3 inputs. For the most part, like I said, I use this as a backup controller in case the other one happens to disconnect randomly. But that hasn't really been happening since the Wingman XE2 update, the 1.2.0.2 update. I know I made that episode of Stick Tips quite a while ago. And I gotta say, I've been, ever since they fixed it, I've been using the adapter a lot more. The XE2, not this one. And yeah, I still haven't really had that many issues with it. I've had like one random disconnect, but it was on an unsupported controller, so it's not really a big deal. It was on the PDP Face-Off Deluxe Plus, the one that I used to use like a lot. Lately I've been using the 8-bit Pro 2 wired controller, because that's kind of one of my favorite controllers. I talked about it in the last episode, that now it's supported kind of unofficially. They did list the 8-bit Pro 2 as a supported controller on the compatibility list. They didn't specify if it was the wireless one or the wired one, but I'm assuming they meant the Bluetooth one, because that's how it's listed, like on 8BitDo's website, and like most, like, you know, the packaging, like a bunch of other stuff, they just call it the Pro 2. Like when you just say the Pro 2, then it typically means the Bluetooth version of the controller. So anyway, but yeah, that's gonna do it for today, guys. Sorry it's a little bit long, but you know, it's double whammy of an episode. Wanted to go over those two updates and kind of also update you guys on the previous episode, Stick Tips, so that's why it took a little bit longer, but thank you all for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed. And of course, before we get going, a very special thank you and note about channel membership. Special thanks to the current channel members, which at the time of recording is Novalis Draconis. But if you want to be incredibly awesome, support the show a bit more directly, and get in on all those membership benefits like Novalis Draconis does, check out the join button down below, or the Farts and Craft Show Buy Me a Coffee. Either way, tiers of the kingdom. Tiers start at $3 a month. It's only 10 cents a day, gets you into all the basic stuff, including getting to vote on the series that get made here on this channel via the members' choice polls. If you guys do want to get in on that, those are only visible to the channel members, We did have one wrap up recently in October of 2023 on the 11th to select the series that would be following Dark Souls Remastered. That has already been determined, so I hope you guys looking forward to that or enjoyed that if you're watching this in the future. And this video is kind of time sensitive, so probably not too far in the future because then this won't be relevant anymore. But yeah, that's a good point, Danjo. Anyway, it's gonna do it for today. Thank you for being here, guys. Greatly appreciated. Until next time, take care, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.